Underneath it all, we feel so small. The heavens fall, and still we crawl. Welcome to another horrible, terrible, despicable, abominable episode of the Apocalypse. Congratulations for choosing the Apocalypse, by the way, and since you have unwisely chosen the Apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide. Your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you a bloody game. Now, as I am tired, this will be very short, first of all. Also, it has been quite a strange day. For the second time in 6 or 7 months, Donny Shitbags has just disappeared for 3 to 4 days so far. When you are the President of the United Bloody States of America, you do not disappear for more than 5 minutes. You do not disappear for 3 days, 4 days where no one has seen you. The President of the United States is not like the rest of us. He bears the weight of the problems of America and the world on his shoulders. It requires near constant attention. It is not normal for the president to not be seen for 3 days at a time, 4 days. In other words, can we have proof of life, please? Now let us begin. Okay, so the morning started off with this, or the afternoon, because that's when I took a look at it. First thing I saw, pictures like this were making the rounds on the internet, and I guess the right-wing grift machine was posting these. And I assumed, even though we hadn't seen Donnie since like Tuesday, I assumed, hey, he just, starting Friday, he would just golf on your dime at his own club so he can pocket the money, just like he does every weekend. Sometimes he takes a 4-day, a 5-day weekend. He's done it already. That's not unusual. So this picture comes out. It mentions his granddaughter is there with him at the golf club, one of them. Trump seen this morning headed to his Virginia golf course. Photo this morning per pool photographer at AFP. Yeah, I don't know about that, if that's where the photo came from, but this photo and others were going around early in the day. So I was like, okay, that's normal, Donnie at the golf course, But then as I was perusing the internet, I was noticing people were talking about body doubles, and we haven't heard from him. And this picture, this footage, is from June or January. So the plot thickens. And again, I just thought this was the normal when Donnie disappears for days at a time. Well, it's some medical issue that they don't want you to know about because Donnie doesn't do that. He had Thug Steele's medical records, so he doesn't share that info with you. Unless it leaks or something. It hasn't leaked, so I assume it's some medical issue. His syphilitic dementia is flaring up, whatever the fuck. We've seen this before. But people are talking about that he's dead. People are talking about this footage and pictures that were being circulated today were not correct. They were old. Where's Donnie? Can we get some proof of life? Is this weekend at Donnie's again? What is this? Again, he's the president, people. This isn't normal. You don't disappear for days at a time when you're president. And again, my personal opinion, it's just some medical thing that he doesn't and they don't want us to know about because it's probably serious. So this picture most likely is old. I believe the granddaughter posted something on her social media today talking about being back at college or something. So I don't think this picture is legitimate. Let's continue. Oh, Donnie's been using the I want to try and get to heaven line on his solicitation emails and texts that he sends to people. This has been happening for a little while now. I just haven't talked about it. But someone mentioned it again today that he's doing it again. I mean, he sends this to ask you for money. Breaking, Trump sent this email to supporters this morning, not beating the allegations. So this, again, this morning, and this isn't the first time, I've already seen these. I want to try and get to heaven, Trump Vance, and it has a picture of Donnie, and I want to try and get to heaven, and I guess then it gives the spiel on why you should give Donnie money. So I guess, Roops, if you give Donnie money, he'll get to heaven. That's what he's trying to tell you. So just give him money, like you've been doing. You fucking marks. I want to try and get to heaven, says the Antichrist. Can you fucking believe it? Antichrist running around. Can I get a Nobel Peace Prize? Meanwhile, we're about to invade Venezuela. Never thought I'd see that. Okay, Donnie wrote this long-ass bullshit. All tariffs are still in effect. I read you this yesterday. This was after the court ruling that said Donnie's tariffs, for the most part, were not legal. They're going away, but we won't enforce it till October, so Donnie can appeal to the Supreme Court. We all know what happens there. So that's a moot point. The tariffs ain't going nowhere. That's Donnie's favorite grift, his favorite toy, his favorite word. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. So Gavin did a little Rube speak on that in response to Donnie's tariff thesis yesterday, which is naught but a grift for one man. That's why you have to read and hear about long-ass theses like this, so one fat, orange, diapered con man can grift that tariff fund. And everybody knows it, by the way. Here's Newsom. Tariffs are for people who aren't terrific. Sad. Luckily, your number one governor, Gavin C. Newsom, is terrific. If Tariff Toddler wants something made in America, that would be me. Some say no one is made in America more than Gavin. Unlike Trump, who's made in a Jell-O factory, GCN. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Okay, Donnie wrote a thesis about some decorating that's going on, some tile that was messed up, something. Do you see how long this is, son? As long as this is, that's how fucked you are. That's pretty fucked, I'd say. All of us, not just you. I'm just, I'm making a point. All of us. As Rome is burning, as Maxwell House costs $21 a canister. Thesis about redecorating the White House on your fucking dime. Because Donnie don't pay for jack shit. I'll read some of it, not all of it. Because every word I read is more and more of our country that is gone as I'm reading it. That's how fast they're taking it apart. While Donnie's worried about how much fake gold spray paint is in the Oval Office on things, and the tile that you're paying for, by the way. I used at the White House the most beautiful marble and stone available anywhere. I bet you did, Donnie, because we're paying for it. Surfaces are very important to me as a builder. Yeah, I bet they are when someone else is paying. As everyone knows, I built many great buildings and other things over the years. At the White House, I'm very proud of the beautiful stonework we did in the Rose Garden, in this case, using limestone plus. The stonework didn't seem beautiful in the Rose Garden. It looked like a cheap, tile patio or whatever with tables and dick umbrellas. What's he talking about? Anyway, the Rose Garden is completed and far more beautiful than anyone had ever had in mind when it was conceived of decades ago. So demented. 3 days ago, while admiring the stonework, I happened to notice a huge gash in the limestone that extended 25 yards. It was deep and nasty. I started yelling, "Who did this? I want to find out now." And I didn't say this in a nice manner. I wondered, was it vandalism, stupidity? We don't need to read anymore. This is why your country's over, this thing right here. Who's worried about some damage to some stonework that you're paying for? As if he's paid for it. Out of a house he's allegedly moving out of in a few years. Right, son? No, he ain't leaving. No, he's not dead either. I hate to crush people's hopes. Okay, we didn't see Donnie at all today. There's no legit photographs, footage, nothing that I know of. He posted several times, or someone posted for him. He posted several pictures and stuff of weird things whilst in hiding. This one, Donnie as a police officer, even though he's never served as a police officer, had bone spurs, so he didn't have to get drafted. He posted this. I assume he grabbed it from somewhere. Whilst in hiding, again, no one knows where the fuck he is, what's going on. Donnie as a SWAT team member. Again, Mr. Bone Spurs. And he's posting it. Mr. Bone Spurs himself is posting this. Says SWAT on his chest. Again, a lot of people online were talking about this guy's dead today. He ain't alive no more. And this is what's being posted. And things about limestone. And there's more. None of this is normal. Not even close, by the way, in case you were wondering. This is a dude that's kind of been following it all day. Forgive the name, it's Chili Dog, Robert whatever, something. And he's kind of been like updating throughout the day. I noticed a few of his posts. Somebody can go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but there has not been a single verifiable picture or video of Trump today, despite the whole "he is golfing." Yet MAGA is pushing out old pics of him saying it's from today. Something is... Indeed, someone put those pictures out today hoping to fool people. What the fuck is going on? This is the president's son. We have a right to know. Everyone asking the question has a right to know. This ain't, the guy working at the local Home Depot or whatever. This is the president, who allegedly serves at our pleasure, but, So, yeah, what's up with the old pictures? Why haven't we seen them in days? Again, if you want my opinion, it's a medical issue. They've done it before. Some serious medical thing that he doesn't want people to know about. Donnie also posted this again, and we saw this for the past 10 years, this phrase, nothing can stop what is coming. Donnie has a Q and a cross, or Q plus, or Q with a cross next to it in his left hand, it looks like. The globe behind him, I'm going to show you in a second. Just want to see if there's like a bunch of secret shit in there. And yeah, in the one hand, he has a cross and the Q. And remember, the Q people, the Russians, and a lot of other people put this saying out there all the time, no one can stop what's coming. And they were talking about, you know, mass arrests, roundups like Nazi Germany of liberals. That's what they were talking about. It was discussed every single day online, and no one gave a flying fuck as far as the companies go. The world will soon understand nothing can stop what's coming. So we have straight up Q rhetoric from the past 10 years we've been seeing all over the internet and everywhere else. Donnie reposts that today whilst in hiding with some medical issue, most likely. People are wondering if he's dead. Why haven't we seen him? What the fuck's going on? Yet these posts are being pumped out. Nothing can stop what is coming. And whenever I used to see that, up until 2024, I used to laugh. Because they were all idiots waiting for something that would never happen. But now he's back in, which I didn't think was even really possible. But I underestimated humanity, the evil percentage. I underestimated how many evil there are. So he's back in. So guess what? The nothing can stop what's coming. That's what I've been trying to tell you since he got back in. And before he got back in, if you let him back in, nothing can stop what's coming. Now it's true. It used to be bullshit and a false hope by a lot of people. Now it's going to happen. It is happening. You're watching it. Camps, masked men kidnapping people. You try and stop them, you go too. Your own military on your own streets. And more, but that's the short list. The short Hitler list. This phrase, now that when they say it, now it's true. That's why I'm still yelling. That's why I was yelling before the election. That's why I've been trying to talk about this for 10 fucking years. Not because it's fun pissing people off, putting an opinion that they don't agree with out there. That's not why I did it. I didn't enjoy it. It's because nothing can stop what's coming. Now. Because he's back in. He's got the keys. He's got the sycophants. He's got the military. They're on your streets already. Over. Checkmate. Government computer systems all been hacked, all been algorithmed by AI, all have been copied down by many people. AI now in your military computer systems, weaving its way through that. 4 or 5 tech bros given the rank of lieutenant colonel in the military. Checkmate. So what used to be a joke, what used to be not to be taken seriously, is now literally what will happen. And when they say this phrase now, they are telling the truth. It's actually going to happen. I imagine back in the 30s in Germany, a lot of people said, it's just politics. It's just a difference of opinion. Maybe we'll get him the next election. He's just talking. I imagine they said all those things. I imagine many people are doing what many of you out there are doing that I encounter online. One, living in a false reality. And two, just going along. Donnie posted this today whilst in hiding. Too many non-working holidays in America. Again, this is someone in hiding we haven't seen for days, who is the president. He's not the local mailman. He's the fucking president we haven't seen in days. And he's not working. Now let me read this again. Too many non-working holidays in America. It is costing our country billions of dollars. Our country is one of the countries that gets the least amount of time off for workers. By the way, I've known that for decades. Costing billions of dollars to keep all these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Oh, well, Donnie's speaking for the workers, even though he's never had a job in his life. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change if we are going to make America great again. There's a passage in Scripture, again, I'm not saying this fulfills that, but it's sure close. If it doesn't fulfill it, he will change the feast days. What are holidays? They are feast days, are they not? Almost every one involves a gathering, either going out to dinner, cooking a meal, and a bunch of people gathering and eating it. Be it religious holidays, non-religious holiday, it doesn't matter. Barbecue, same thing. Feast days. What else could you call feast days but the holidays? In this modern incarnation of society that they've made for us. Remember when Donnie first came in, he changed the observances for the military. One of the observances is Holocaust remembrance. I don't know what the policy is now. I know what it was when he first got in. That shit went away. He didn't want government agencies or the military honoring these certain holidays that he picked. Of course, they all had to do with ethnic minorities and Jews, etc. Changing the observances of holidays or feast days for the military. Now Donnie's talking about doing it for everybody. Changing the feast days. Is this the fulfillment of that when he does it, or if, just talking about it? I don't know, but it sure feels awfully close to me. I don't know what other feast days we have but the holidays. So whenever again, this is also very strange. It's not like normal presidential behavior. Which tells me personally that there's another element to it, like a supernatural one. Why does he care about this? Too many holidays in America? No, not really, no. So what is it really about? I don't know. All I know is there is a passage about this time when the Antichrist has his reign or is in power. He will change the feast days. I don't know what else you'd call this. It's an, kind of ancient way of saying he'll change the holidays. Strange things like that really make me realize this is different than other things we've had before. Not in a good way. In a very dark and evil one. Okay, Donnie managed from hiding whatever, or someone wrote it for him, to talk shit on J.B. Pritzker and the state of Illinois. Here we go. 6 people were killed and 24 were shot in Chicago last weekend, and J.B. Pritzker, the weak and pathetic governor of Illinois, just said that he doesn't need help in preventing crime. He is crazy. He better straighten it out fast, or we're coming. MAGA, President DJT. Or we're coming. Again, that's the dictator threatening to deploy the military in an American city, and it would be the 3rd time he did it. Son. So again, do you even realize how over your country is? He should be impeached just for this. Just for the post. Threatening to send the military to a state when it doesn't need it. Look, there's crime and murders in all big cities, and there's no way to stop all of it. And is the answer putting guys with machine guns on every corner? I don't really want to live in a society like that, do you? So JB posted Donnie's post and put a response. That's JB at the top. Why don't you send everyone proof of life first? Either way, Chicago doesn't want you here. That's how you got to talk. That's how you got to be. And JB has a good point. He's probably on his fucking deathbed, barely alive, and someone's posting this for him, or he's telling someone to, or he's doing it himself. So yeah, can we get proof of life instead of shit talk, which could have been written by anyone? And again, you know, all this is going on. All these posts and threats and just abominations as usual. Even when he's in hiding. I mean, just like JB says, how about answering that question? Where the fuck you at, man? You alive? You know, we get worried when he's not on the golf course. Milking the taxpayer with his entourage. You know, probably charging him top dollar for rooms. I bet you don't give you a discount, son. Oh, no. You don't know Donnie shitbags. This is another picture that was making the rounds of Donnie this morning. His face looks very strange at the golf course. And everyone was saying that was a body double. That's not Donnie. It doesn't look like him. I have no idea. I'm assuming this picture is old as well. I don't think any real pictures of Donnie came out today. So yes, his face does look strange. It doesn't kind of look like him. But, you know, a face can look many ways at many different angles in photos. So who knows? And he's got a hat, you know, kind of low. So people were skeptical of this picture. But from what I'm seeing, I don't think there's any legit pictures of Donnie that were taken today. Or footage. I could be wrong. But from what I'm seeing and what people are saying, it doesn't appear. So he's been in hiding for what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like 4 days. This was interesting. Representative Carlos A. Jimenez. I assume he's a Republican. I don't know. This was kind of out of left field, but it is going on as we're talking about everything else. Our prayers are with the courageous men and women of our armed forces as they approach the coasts of Venezuela. This is what it looks like. Whole map and everything, and little ships. Are they Sharpied in there? Big presentation, huh? So the Reich has deployed the military into the South America area or south of the border islands, different areas, and the talk has been that it's for Venezuela and drug activity. Remember, they do want to annex Mexico and all this shit down here, the top portion of South America. They want the Panama. They want all that. This is most likely the beginning of that. They can't get in Mexico because Scheinbaum told them to fuck the fuck off multiple times when Donnie tried to put troops in Mexico to help with the drug war. So he sends the Navy down towards Venezuela. And according to Mr. Jimenez, it looks like he's trying to give a signal that, yeah, some shit's about to go down and we're going to invade Venezuela. For their oil, of course, Donnie talked about it a few years ago. There's footage. So this would be a straight up further oil invasion, no matter what Donnie says it's for. Fighting drug cartel. He don't give a fuck about that. He was a cokehead most of his life. So it's for the oil, it's for the resources. That's what all this shit's about. The Canada annexation, the Greenland annexation, for the resources, of course. Oil, gas, gold, diamonds, things you can make wiring out of, metals. All kinds of shit. So it appears the guy who wants the Nobel Peace Prize, who's bombed 3 or 4 countries since he took office, has deployed his own military, our own military, against us, has masked men going around with machine guns, kidnapping people at immigration court, right in front of their family, every day, all day. Now has sent the military down to possibly invade Venezuela. Should we give him the Nobel Peace Prize now? Because he'll be asking for it tomorrow. Or will he bomb Venezuela or lob some missiles or whatever, do a little damage, and then turn around and go home and say he made a peace deal? And then stick his hand out. My point is, as we're all talking about this other bullshit, we have military movement towards Venezuela. We have a representative saying, as they approach, as if he knows something, or as if he was the one given the job of giving us the signal that it's about to happen, because they've been letting us know everything they're going to do. The Reich, I mean. Put it in the consciousness. That way when it happens, it's not so surprising. He's been doing that to you for 10 years. We got camps, masked men kidnapping people, our own troops on the streets. He's been doing it for 10 years, and he's succeeded. So again, should we give him the Nobel before or after he invades Venezuela for their oil? Huh, Roops? Donnie posted this. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, a big year ahead for the USA, maybe the best ever. That means for him, not America. If the tariffs are finally approved by the courts, President DJT, again, someone pointed out that he would never say when the tariffs are finally approved by the courts. I don't know. I don't even know if he wrote this. All I know is it's posted on his account today. So again, he mentions the tariffs as if it's some great thing for all of us. No, the reason he says it's going to be the best ever and everything's going so well, he means for him. I'm not kidding. When he says America or the USA, he means me. He means maybe the best ever for him, because he got, a multi-billion-dollar grift called tariffs going. Did you get a check, son? His tariffs are costing American families an additional $4,000 a year. Yeah, I'd call that on the low end. I mean, there's going to be tariffs on everything. People have stopped shipping here. And again, it's the holiday, and we got to hear about his tariff grift. That's the big, celebratory message. He means it'll be great for him once the courts legalize, and they will, his tariff grift. Don't worry. Supreme Court, again, the threats went to the families. They're locked in. Gavin gave a response to Donnie's, you can't stop what's coming post. Look, check it out. I like it. The world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. I wish I could give you hope. I wish I believed this was a possibility. That, Gavin would win the presidency or whatever in a few years. How it's normally supposed to play out. I wish I could give you that hope. But I don't give false hope. And again, if the day comes and I'm proven wrong, Donnie leaves in whatever whatever he has left on his term. We survive it. He leaves. Gavin runs against somebody. Maybe Gavin wins. Who knows? Normal. Not a rigged election or anything. Just normal. I'd be proven wrong, wouldn't I? Yep. I could live with that. I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't have to be tired as hell on video every night. But unfortunately, the other picture is our reality now. And the sad thing is that so many millions of Americans are down with it. Down with the end of the empire. They don't know it. They're too stupid. Too blind. Too many things. That other picture with Donnie. You can't stop what's coming. That's reality now. Whereas it was a joke before, just like Donnie was a joke. Before this weird cult thing happened around him back in 2015, which I always knew was not right. I always knew there was something more to it. It was so illogical. It still is. Therefore, there must be another ingredient. Because when things are illogical, people are supposed to not accept them or be part of them. Yet they're eager to be part of this. There's something else going on with it. A supernatural thing. I don't want there to be again. I don't feel good about any of this. I'm not trying to come off as some guru and want to be a guru or anything like that. I'm doing it because I know something, that's all. And I can feel it, man. And I can see it, what's before my eyes. And I always knew that one book was different. Had something the others didn't. So I'm here to guide you through it. That's all I can do because it's too late to go back now. We can't stop it. We can't go back. We got to ride this wave till it breaks on shore. And a lot of us are going to go down. A lot of MAGA people will go down. A lot of people in general will go down in the process on the way there. There isn't much Good news, if any good news. And again, that's why I'm here every night, almost. Because that's how serious it is. We're at the end. I saw this right before I was about to go on. One last post by Donnie. Maybe there's more after that, because he's in hiding and he's got to distract you from that fact as well. Or someone else is writing these and he's incapacitated. Who the fuck knows? Maybe they'll revive him. You know, pump him full bunch of adrenaline like they did last time after he disappeared for 3 days and came back all energetic. And, you know, he'll run for a few days and then fall back out again, and we'll just go through this over and over again. I have a feeling that's the way it's going to be for a long time. Voter ID must be part of every single vote, no exception. So Donnie's letting you know he's going to rig the next election. I will be doing an executive order to that end. Also, no mail-in voting, except for those that are very ill and the faraway military. Why is every first letter capitalized? I used to do that in poetry, but this is, again, the President of the United States capitalizing the first letter for every word, which is throughout the entire post except for what's in all caps. Huh. Every first letter is I used to do this with my poetry. It's so weird, but why is he doing it is the question. He does capitalize things that shouldn't be capitalized, but this is every first letter is capitalized. Is there some secret message in this? I'm going to have to decode this later. VIDMBP. Oh, he didn't capitalize the O and of. ES. VNE. But then the whole word's capitalized. IWBD. Sounds like gibberish. Anyway. Also no mail-in voting. He wants to do this by proclamation. Except for those that are very ill and the faraway military. Use paper ballots only. President DJT. So he's stating outright he's going to proclaim as Caesar no more mail-in voting except for rare circumstances and soldiers that are far away. Paper ballot. He's just going to change our entire election process, how it works. Even though he's voted by mail 1,000,000 times. What does this really mean? What is he really saying? I am going to rig the next thing. Donnie's not leaving. I'm sorry. I wish he was. He's not. And again, I'd love to be wrong. I don't want JD, but, you know, whatever. I can't see him going anywhere. And again, the story, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I got to take a look at it again. There's so many details in it. And I'm almost going by how I feel. I can feel the story is what I'm trying to say. And it's like, that's how I know these things are going to happen. I don't want them to again, but it's inevitable, unfortunately, once the line was crossed. But I need to take a look again, because if I'm not mistaken, it's that great war when Beast 1 and 2 die. But again, a lot of the story is not chronological, and two events that are described close together, literally, in the story, the text, that doesn't mean they happened right next to each other in the timeline of reality, according to what I'm seeing. But anyway, from what I know of the story, and I am no expert, but I've spent years on it, I believe those two die when the Great War happens. In other words, I guess what I'm trying to say is, as hopeful as so many are for a cheeseburger or whatever to finish the job, I don't think that's going to happen. My point is, very bluntly, I think we have to suffer this. As evil of a place as it's going, even though we don't want to, even though it would take very little action to stop all this by certain people. Just like in Adolf's day, those people had to suffer it for 12 years. The entire world had to suffer it. I have a feeling that's what's happening here. Look at Donnie all throughout his life, and especially the last 10 years. Every legal hurdle that came at him, he was able to skate. Every single time. Every time someone said, "We got him now," they never had him. I'm amazed they managed to get the conviction in the New York courts. That he didn't skate out of that somehow. But honestly, I guess that had to happen because it's another test for you people. Will they still... This is what God is asking about you as these things unveil. Will they still put their name on him when they know he's a rapist? Will they still put their name on him when they know he's a convicted fraud, felon? Will they still put their name on him when they know he's a defamer, an intentional liar? I personally believe that's why those things were allowed to happen to him. That little bit of discipline. It was, again, so you can't say when the man comes around, "I didn't know." Because that's what you're all going to say. Every single one. That's what God was asking of you. About you. A final phase of the test, in my opinion. Will they still put their name on him when they know he's Epstein's best friend? Will they still put their name on him when he says he grabs women by the you know what? Will they still put their name on him after he separates children from parents intentionally, hoping they never see each other again, as a deterrent? Will they still put their name on him when he opens concentration camps? Some for life down in El Salvador. Will they still put their name on him when he deploys masked men with machine guns to kidnap people? Will they still put their name on him when he deploys their own military against them? Will they still put their name on him when he's a convicted felon? When they know he stole 3,000 classified documents? When they watched on television him incite a riot to overthrow the government so he could stay in as dictator? Will they still put their name on him? Those are the questions God was asking about you. You know who you are. You know where you fall in that criteria. Here's where I suggest you begin to fall in that criteria. Get the fuck out of it. Get your name off it. Because what it appears to be to me is God showing you more evil, more evil, more evil, more evil, more evil, wanting to see where your limit is, where your line is, if you have one at all. Or are you just like him? By him, I mean Donnie Shitbags. That's the thing about this. One thing is obvious to me. No one's going to be able to say I didn't know. Not one person. All you bullshitters out there. I didn't know my husband was going to get deported. I didn't know my wife, my mother, my farmhands, my contractor crew. I didn't. Yes, you did. You knew all of it. You didn't care. So for this past 10 years, what it's felt like to me is a test. Millions of you failed miserably. You have a little bit of time left. I'm not sure how much. Probably under 10 years, under 4 years even, it feels like to me. Get your name off it. It's not a trick. I'm not a liberal agent trying to fool you. I'm trying to give you the best fucking advice you ever got in your life, son. Get your name the fuck off it and walk the other way. And my final message, as always, when the mark comes around again, don't put your name on it. Don't pledge your loyalty. No matter what the consequences, and there will be consequences, you must say no. My guess in the next few years that thing comes. Maybe faster than that. When it does come, though, you must say no. It's the only way to survive where it matters. Otherwise, you will die where it matters. And that is my final message again. Say no to the mark, and it's very fucking serious. Anyway, people, I gotta get going. Very tired. As always, I've been basically a zombie every day. Good thing. Certain things I do are not very strenuous. Anyway, as always, I'll throw the PayPal at the top of the comment section when this uploads in 5 hours. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening until the next bloody episode.